What's up, Entre Nation? Jeff Lerner here. Excited to have you here for another Millionaire Secrets conversation. If you're seeing this on YouTube, I appreciate your support of the channel. Make sure that you subscribe. If you're catching this on the podcast, appreciate your support there as well. Have a really exciting conversation in store today with a great longtime friend of mine who I'm so grateful for an excuse to reconnect with, Mr. Anthony BUSCIGLIO. We're going to get into it with Anthony here in just a moment. So without further ado, thanks for being here. All right, so we're here with my good longtime friend, Anthony BUSCIGLIO. I don't know what the appropriate introduction for Anthony is. To me, he's just like my friend that I lived on his couch for a while at a really low point in time, and he mentored.
I want the Apollo Creed entrance from Rocky IV.
We can probably overdub that. In fact, let's pause for a sec. Okay, we'll make sure that it goes in right there. Anyways, honestly, Anthony, man, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for being here, dude.
Let everybody know right now, everybody's going to be watching this, that this will be the best fucking one out of all of the one on the pages. Okay?
Oh, all right. And I'm willing to bet it's going to have the most F-bombs too.
Not even fucking close.
So just quick background for everyone. Most people watching or listening, they kind of know my story already. You know that back in 2008, I was at a low point. I got started with affiliate marketing, got into this whole online business world. And through that, I became part of a community, met some really good people, had some ups and downs. And I would say it was right at a down when I really connected with Anthony and his group of people. And this was all in New Jersey. I was living in New York. And it was kind of like this group of people in New Jersey that like, I was kind of falling down at the time. And I feel like you guys kind of cradled me in your very rough Jersey way. You gave me a somewhat soft landing that it very often literally included sleeping on your couch. But Anthony,
for a while.
Anthony's like literally one of the best. And I say this sincerely, man. You're like one of the best entrepreneurs I know, because entrepreneurship's really freaking hard, and it requires a variety, a versatility of skills. And I don't know that many guys that do as many different things well as you do. And I mean marketing, I mean copywriting, I mean leadership, I mean team building, I mean selling, I mean just and the freaking hustle, dude.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that. I mean, I should be driving Lamborghinis and Ferraris with that kind of intro. I'm not, but I will be eventually. Yeah, man. It's very similar journeys. I mean, you know, I was fortunate enough to make a lot of money young in the mortgage business. Got it. And, you know, it was hard. It was because of hard work, whether it was easier now with the refi boom in 2001 or not. It was still, I was the first one there, last one to leave. I always beat everybody with work ethic alone. Made a lot of money, had my own shop for a while. 2008, went down with the recession, lost fucking everything. Had to learn about internet marketing because I had no fucking skills with the computer. Came across a work from home program that I met Jeff in. That's how we actually met, because we both became on the leaderboard, and then we met at the events because leaders want to hang out with other leaders. That's kind of how it started, right? And then eventually we ended up partnering up in this crazy way. A bunch of us top producers partnered up and made this one like fucking mega team. We kind of like, I gotta say, we kind of exploited a situation because there was never any rules about people teaming up. And like, there's no rules. Why can't we do it? And remember the other leaders like, they can't do that. And we're like, nothing in the fucking rule book says you can't do that. Yeah. It's like Bill Belichick trying to find an advantage, you know what I mean, in the game plan. And we did, and we made this mega team of 7 people, and we led the leaderboard for 2 years straight, destroying every record in the whole company, winning every award, I think, right?
It's like if right now the record is what, like 70 home runs in a year?
Yeah, it was like 300.
Yeah, exactly. Only he found out there were actually like 7 guys harnessing the power of 7 guys to swing the bat, right?
Yeah. So it was good. It worked out good. We had a lot of fun. Then unfortunately, things took a twist and turn with that business. I got into the call center game, started doing well. Then, you know, Jeff was interested. We ended up doing something together. He had his own call center, and we both started crushing it, doing a similar model. So we both kind of, besides the fucking pita shop, I think both of our journeys,
Yeah.
kind of were similar in the past 12 years. Probably very similar. I decided to get back into the call center game about a year and a half ago. Are you still running the call center, or you just keep it on?
No, dude. I am. As this education business is taking off, I have found my true purpose in life. I am, and I will tell you, somebody says, Jeff, what do you do now? I'm an awesome life evangelist.
That's good. I like that. I've seen the awesome.
That's my job description. And I have burned all other boats at this point. You
look like you're happy doing it. I haven't seen you excited for a while. So that's good. Not that we've talked that much, but I figured out the opposite for me. That, for me, when I look back at my history, I've always made a lot of money when I've had a lot of people that were on the phone selling something for me. You know what I mean? Like, I made my most money in the mortgage business, made some money with Pro, then made a lot of money again with Loyal 9. And I'm like, the points in my life where I had the most success, not only just making money, but having like an organization with like a lot of employees and a big payroll, as scary as that is, to me, that's successful, that you're able to put 50 people to work that all make good money. You know what I'm saying? And just actually have the, to run a business with payroll, like our last payroll when we just stopped, was March 13th. I think we closed down shop March 16th because the stay-at-home order, I think, was that day in California.
Yeah, and if somebody's seeing this 5 years from now, because stuff lives forever, we're talking coronavirus, COVID-19.
We're talking March 13th, 2020.
Yeah, right.
Was our last payroll, and that payroll run was $110,000
for 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So our payroll was well over $200,000 a month because we were feeding 50 people, and people making really good money. People making 6 figures a year selling on the phone. So, this is what I was born to do. I feel like, whatever just not necessarily the product I'm selling, but running fucking sales floors with guys on the phone selling shit. And I like this game. So I made a pact that I'm going to stay in this game. I don't know what kind of campaign I'm going to be running for a long time because some of these campaigns are short-lived. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm going to stay in this game because for me, the potential to make money in this kind of business is far greater than a lot of the other things that I think that I'm good at.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, systems, leverage, automation, humans aren't necessarily technically automation, but if you build good enough processes, humans get pretty close to automation.
Yep. Yeah, sure. If you have this, read the script, follow the system, press this button.
And I know you well enough to know that you've got that shit dialed.
Yeah, it took us a while.
The script, the handoffs, the transfers, the processes. When you're working with Kevin, you've got your tech dialed in.
Everything.
Systems are systems, man. It
doesn't matter. Way better than last time, too. And everything's documented, every single process. We learned a lot from that last run that we had.
And here's the thing, because I'm always speaking. I mean, at the end of the day, right now, you and I are having a conversation, but frankly, it's not only for our benefit, right? There's an audience. Entre Nation's out there listening, and I always want to acknowledge and honor Entre Nation, my audience, because what everybody I think tunes in for is like kind of like cracking the code. Like, how do I do this? Like I try to bring people on that come from my world, that we're ordinary guys or girls. We don't, we weren't born into this. We're not necessarily the smartest. In our case, we're definitely not. We're not the best looking, but we hustle. We figure it out. We learn from our mistakes, and there's commonalities, right? And the commonalities are systems, leverage, thinking smart. I know you well enough to know you have an extremely high value that you place on your time.
Yep.
You say no to anything in your life that's a potential. This is one thing I know about you. 95% of the things that come your way, you say no to because they'll distract you.
I'm so done with the shiny fucking object, bro. I say no all day long. There's nonstop opportunities that come flying across my desk that look real good, but I tell, look, everything looks good. Execution is fucking hard. No matter what it is, it could look, this is so easy. We can sell this all day. Yeah, I'll give you an example. And this is like total insider example. It just happened now. Okay, so we got shut down March 13th, right? Like, all right. And I'm telling my partners, look, whenever there's a disaster, there's some kind of opportunity. You know, there always is. You know, what's something that everybody needs right now that we could sell very easily over the phones, whatever it is. So this is before Trump did this. I'm going to say in a minute. I'm like, you know, everybody needs telehealth. Everybody needs to be able to get access to a doctor from their phone or from the computer without going and getting possibly infected with COVID, right? I thought it'd be $40 a month, right? I thought it'd be the easiest fucking play. I tell these guys, like, oh, dude, it's fucking genius. Everybody will buy that. Everybody needs healthcare right now. We tried selling it with 3 guys for 1 week straight, fucking 5,000 phone calls, not one sale. Sounded so good. And then the week after that, Trump ended up announcing that everybody was going to get free telehealth. So it would have got the kibosh. Right. No, but I thought it was the easiest slam dunk thing. And then I remembered really quickly after a week, I'm like, let's just get back to what we were doing. Because what we were doing took 6 to 12 months to really figure out and get dialed in, write the scripts, the transfers. So why would I think that I would dial something in fucking 7 days? Of course not. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing. I mean, you know, you made a joke about not driving Ferraris and Lamborghinis. I know you wouldn't waste your money on that, but the reality is, I mean, you're somebody that's built, you know, between your mortgage business, between our affiliate business, and then your B2B, your first B2B call center business. I mean, you've had 3 different companies that have done 8 or multiple 8 figures a year in revenue.
Yeah, I mean, loyal.
It's not like you haven't had a whole lot of money go through your ecosystem.
Oh, dude, I was. Listen, I'm the epitome of, you know, it's bad. I wasn't married for a while when I had the big business last time, so I was out a lot. I mean, I was spending a lot of fucking money, man, in New York City, limos and restaurants and other bad things, and you know, like I was, you know, I was making plenty of money. It wasn't that. I mean, Loyal 9. In that 4-year run did well over $20 million in business. Right. You know what I mean?
But my point is, even for that guy, it's not like easy for you to figure it out.
No, man. No. Lost money. You know, I almost went out of business with this one in the first 12 months, just making stupid mistakes. And a stupid mistake in this kind of business costs a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, and that's the difference. I mean, I owned, you know, at my peak, my agency, we had probably 30 reps on the phones and a staff of probably 50 people, probably comparable size. We just didn't run it as long maybe as you guys. And yeah, man, you're right. Little mistakes have massive implications. It's like if you show up on an oil rig for 2 days, you're down, and back at corporate, they're like, we just bled $20 million. And we, you know,
like the dumbest things. Like I'll give you, I remember this happened once. You know, we had reoccurring revenue, and back then we had like 4,000 or 5,000 people paying us every month. We had a good reoccurring, a lot of money too. And I remember we had an idea. Hey, let's see if any of our customers want to purchase something this is hot. I did like 1 email blast to like 5,000 customers offering something. And I got like 300 cancellations on my product at $200 a month.
So $60,000 a month gone because of 1 email.
Over month, yeah, and they would have lasted another 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah.
So do that. There you go. 1 email, I just lost $300,000.
Yeah.
So just like, and then afterwards, I said, why did I send that fucking email out? But I'm looking in hindsight, you know. Yeah. So you got to really think things through. Every little fucking, do one little thing wrong, you can fuck up everything.
So here's my take, Anthony, in terms of like what I learned from you. Because when I met you, when I first met you, I was probably 2009. I had just started to click with affiliate marketing. I was having a few good months, but by no means was I in a good place in my life. I was still.
Yeah, you had a good 60K month when I first, right in the beginning.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah, but it was a 60K month after losing $500,000 on a restaurant where I never ever made any money.
Yeah.
You know, so, but you had coming off your mortgage business. You had been up and what I learned from you. So at the time, I looked up to you as like, hey, this guy's been there. I'm trying to get there, you know? And what I remember is that you have a unique, I would describe it as a fairly unique ability to think really big, but also focus really small. And what I mean by that is like a lot of people get sort of myopically obsessive over the details and the little, and they end up paralyzed. They get paralysis by analysis.
I hate that.
But and then on the flip side, you have a lot of guys that are these big visionary thinkers and they have these big ideas, but they totally suck at details and they miss and they screw it up because they never actually get it right.
Yep.
You actually do both pretty well.
Yeah, I think you do. I'm going to say something in a minute of the thing that you introduced me to that I'm forever grateful for. You're going to laugh when I tell you.
Uh-oh.
No, this is great. But, you know, like me and Kevin have this thing we always say, like a lot of people like, all right, I'm going to set up this new business and then I got to do this. I have to do this. I got to set up a Facebook page. I got to get a website up first. I can't do that yet. I got to build my funnel out. And they avoid starting the business thinking that they need all these fucking things first. And then they start the business in a week. They say it doesn't work. And then they just it waste. I'm like, look, it's got to work. It's almost like a landing page, right? And not that I'm a big marketer anymore, but if you put up a landing page and it converts at 3% opt-in rate, you scrap the whole fucking page and make a new one. You're not going to tweak it from 3 to 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it has to work a little bit at the least common denominator.
Right.
It's got to work somewhat at the worst case. Example, I should be able to hire a guy who's a dummy. And like from 1 to 10, I should be able to hire a salesman that's like a 4 or a 5 and be able to make a sale a day with a 4 or 5.
Right.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, then the model's not good enough. Because you're not going to get superstar for me in my business. I'm not going to get 100 superstars on the phone. I'm going to have 5 or 6 superstars. Then I'm going to have my mid-level guys, 10 or 15 guys. Then I'll have the lower level guys who just make enough to make it worth it for them to bring in revenue. You know what I mean? It's got to work with that lower tier guys too, not just with only the best guys. Almost like with pro. Unfortunately with pro, you know, what was it? The top 3-4% made money?
Right.
You know, unfortunately, a lot of the failure rate was super, super high. And it's no fault to the guys who made it. Parking, it has nothing to do with that. That just was a very high failure rate, you know?
Well, it was a high failure rate, but also, I mean, if I learned anything, and I still want to hear what it is that I taught you, but I will say this.
How to watch It's Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay. I did right by you on that, dude. That's good stuff.
And I watched every episode for 14 seasons ever since we watched it on my movie theater screen. By the way, when Jeff lived in my house, he had the best room in the house. He had the fucking basement that had a full bar, pool table, 150-inch fucking movie theater screen, shower, bathroom, office with 6 desks, right?
Yeah, that was... I probably pretended to be down and out longer than I was just so I could stay there.
And back then you were the lung.
Yeah, I was having a hard time for sure. I might have, like as Anthony's alluding to, embarrassingly, I might have even tried smoking to drown my sorrows. I contracted the nickname the lung. Thankfully, that's all I contracted. But no, you know, the thing about that program you mentioned that had, you know, pretty thin success rates at the top. And I mean, it was like, here's the thing about that. It was the extreme of like all or nothing. If you were successful in that program, and I actually say this a lot about the internet as a whole, is you never find somebody who's successful on the internet who only makes $5,000 a month. Yeah. You've got your dabblers who have like a little part-time blog and they make a few affiliate sales on Amazon and maybe they make $500 a month. They pay their cell phone bill or something. Yep. And then you have this big giant gap. And on the other side, you have guys that like maybe it starts at $20,000 a month and goes up from there to like you start adding zeros, right? There's like no middle class on the internet.
No, there's no middle class.
Because the only people, and this is my theory on that, is the internet it scales without friction. So once you get it right, you can scale it without having to add bodies or add facilities.
Yeah, just add more marketing.
Yeah, so you just spent literally. I had an offer that last month we spent $1,000 a day on Facebook ads. This month we doubled it. Like, why wouldn't you, right? If it's working.
You work with Horning?
No. We actually have some internal guys that we've trained.
Yeah, I know you worked with him.
Yeah. No, I know him well. Yeah. And
Aaron works with him. I remember I went to one of his free 3-day private workshops because we were doing that for a loyal line. And, I remember guys in the room like that just figured out the KPI. I was like, all right, let's just spend 10 times more now. And you should make about 10 times more money.
Yeah, you just scale it until you're saturated, and basically until you can't get any more eyeballs on Facebook and hold your conversions.
Yeah.
Which is usually like, 10, like you said, like 10 times whatever you're doing, right?
It's fucking crazy, dude.
So if you're making, that's my point. If you're making $5,000 a month on the internet, in 3 months, you'll probably be making 20. And in 6 months, you'll probably be making 40. Why would you ever stay at 5? But here's the thing about it is I think the internet attracts, it scales without friction, but also it tends to attract two kinds of people. It attracts people that want it to be easy. And it is pretty easy if you stay really small, but it gets scary to go big.
Yeah, because you got to lay out the money.
Yeah, because you got to spend first. Or it attracts real, true, like, Old West style entrepreneurs, people that'll really go for it. And we do. And when you go for it and it works, it goes big, And there's like no in between. Like the in between, they all just want to keep their nice little 6-figure job.
Yep.
And that's kind of my theory on the internet. But it's interesting because I don't think, it's like you say, that original program we started in, it still has been one of the best experiments and experiences of my life.
I learned so much. I tell Aaron about that. That community was still, to me, the best community that I've been a part of. We actually were close to trying to replicate something like that for our employees here.
Huh.
Just to have that, because that whole thing with with JJ, just like the call and everybody dialing in, and there was people that weren't making. If anybody could take anything out of this conversation, that there was a lot of people that weren't making anything, not even a fucking dollar. But you know what? They kept paying every month because they felt good to be a part of something. And they would call into that call every day. And every night we had the trainings. And they went to the events and they met the guys who were doing the trainings in person. And we were very personable. And they would even say, I'm not making any money, but I'm just so happy to be a part of this.
It was like their family.
It was like their family. And they weren't even making any fucking money. And they were still happy to pay.
Yeah, and think about how many people, I would say, not only don't make money, but their family costs them their potential.
Yep.
But they stay a part of it because it's their family.
Yep. Yeah.
And in this case, at least it was a family that was trying to build their potential.
I learned, to this day, everything I've learned as far as internet marketing, I learned from there.
Here's why that community was so valuable to me, and why I think even for people are like, well, what are they talking about? That was 12 years ago. That doesn't apply to me. It does apply for this reason. There were tens of thousands of people in that community.
Yeah, a lot.
And that community, literally the name of that community was Carbon Copy.
Yep.
There was one mandate in that community, which was to look at what somebody else had done that worked and copy it.
The same thing, same landing pages, same marketing.
Exactly. They gave you everything.
Here's the playbook.
And yet, as you pointed out, 3 or 4% of people did really well with it. And a very large percentage of people did somewhere between nothing and negative.
They just didn't want to do the work.
Look, why? How do you explain that?
I will say that there was the group of people who, unfortunately, they just were not going to ever develop the skill set to do it. But
Right.
there was this big middle ground of people who all had potential to earn 20, 30, 40 grand a month. And they just didn't want to fucking do the work. They just didn't want to do the work.
But they had the ability.
They had the ability. They just didn't want to.
And that community, because frankly, the internet has actually gotten, I don't know that it's gotten more difficult, but it's gotten more fragmented since then. Like now you've got Amazon, you've got Shopify, you've got drop shipping, you've got ClickBank, you've got JV, even affiliate marketing. There's like 12 different platforms.
Print on demand.
Yeah, and everything's so fragmented now. Back then, there were like a few things.
Yeah.
And they were, and there were very few limitations on those.
Back then there was MLM and there was top tier direct sales.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like the same for everyone. And yet you give it to 100 people and 4 of them would crush it and 10 of them couldn't figure it out. Yeah. And like you say, 86 of them in the middle, they got it. They were just kind of scared to actually go all in and do it.
People just don't want to do it. Like I was having a conversation with my buddy, like if you go to the gym, right, which you do,
yeah.
I do, there's a lot of people in really good shape who have regular jobs making 30, 40 grand a year who aren't successful. But these guys are in tremendous shape. Now you and I know how hard it is to be in shape, right?
Yeah.
You got to be very disciplined with your diet, probably most important. And then working out's not easy too. Those 2 things alone are very difficult.
Time management, because you got to squeeze it in with the job. You got to get enough sleep.
Right. Yeah. So you have these guys and women who are dialed in, look great, eat perfect, and squeeze it in. But then they don't take that work ethic that you do for your physical self. They don't take that and apply it to their real life to go make money. Why?
It's interesting. It really is. And that, I hope everybody's hearing this conversation, because frankly, if I had the answer for this, I'd have more zeros in my bank account than I do.
Yeah.
Because this is the Holy Grail that I seek every day, is to crack this code. How to get the average person to develop a more, I don't know if it's sophisticated or aggressive or empowered, or what the adjective is, just a more better mindset around money.
It's the mindset. You know, it's the talk that Jay did that one time, which I repeated many times, but I've always given him the credit, even though he has no idea, because I haven't talked to him in 10 fucking years. But I always said, this isn't my story, this is a buddy of mine. Talks about the financial thermostat.
Yeah.
Right? You know, when you're predisposed, I'll give you an example. My wife, she's a nurse, right? She knows that she'll make 80, 90 grand at the top level as a nurse, right? So no matter what, whenever she's looking for something, it's like, I can make up to 80 grand. Like, and that's the max in her head that she thinks she could ever earn, because that's what she's finding predisposed to knowing about nurses, and that's it. So there's never a thought of how do I make 150 or 200.
If you put her in an opportunity to make 200, what's going to happen?
She'll make 90.
The thermostat, the heat kicks on, or the cool, whichever side it is, and brings it back to the setting.
She'll make 90. Yeah,
I think you just nailed it, man, because we put people in a situation where they had all the tools, all the training to go make 250 grand a year easy. I mean, you and I, when we were like a bad month was like 40 grand.
Yeah.
With that program. And everybody had the same tools, but it was like, well, I already make 50 grand at my job, and now you're giving me a tool that I can make 250 with?
Right.
I'm going to find a way to screw that up.
Yes. For me, I was a little lucky because I had the mortgage business before that, and I murdered it. And I had months where I made 60, even 70,000. So my thermostat was high.
Yeah.
Off the bat. So ever since then, I'm always thinking I got to make at least that, which is a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So like I wasn't stuck in that,
and I'll say this, I never, all through my 20s, I never made more than 40 grand a year. I was a jazz pianist and a student, and I taught lessons, but I grew up with really successful parents.
Yep.
So I knew that making $100,000 in a month was like a thing that people actually do or can do
all the time.
And yet, I don't want to be ungrateful for that or seem disrespectful to that, the value of seeing that growing up, because now I feel like it's crazy how much people just don't believe it.
There's so many people making so much money, but most people are so stuck in this bubble, they don't even realize it. I remember I was in the private jet business for like a year and a half in between the mortgage company. I did that for a year and a half, and I was arranging private jet flights for wealthy people. And I was just like amazed. I'm calling to try to get them flights, and it was so busy I couldn't even get aircraft for a private jet because it was just people flying private all over the world nonstop. I used to live by Teterboro. Do you remember the
yeah,
jet?
Oh yeah, I used to drive by on the way to your house.
Right, so right by my old house where Jeff used to stay was Teterboro Airport, which is the biggest private jet hub in the country because anybody that lives in New York flies into Teterboro, and they would fly over my house. And they would come every fucking 3 minutes, right? One after another. Private jet, G3, G4, Falcon, Hawker, Lear. It was just like, and I would always say, there's so much fucking money in this world. You know, look at these motherfuckers flying private all day.
I remember you saying that too. But it's true, man. And I mean, you know, just to hop a ride on a private jet going from A to B, I mean, it's entry level starts at 25 grand for like a one-way ticket.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you could take a little short one way to Florida on a Lear jet where you're gonna crawl in with 4 people for like eight grand, maybe 10 grand. You know, I mean, it's nuts. It's fucking insane.
And so yeah, man, it is. It's crazy. And I say that because, you know, if somebody's watching this, video on my YouTube channel, for example, there are literally other videos. If you just scroll down in my videos list, there are other videos around. There's like 5 videos at least that I've shot that teach you the basics of affiliate marketing.
I see it right here.
That is the exact same business model that Anthony and I are talking about that we got into back in 2008.
You got a lot of content over here. You're doing good.
Dude, I thank you for saying that.
How many are you banging out? One a day?
It's a lot of work. We publish one every other day right now, and I don't think I've missed a day in a year and a half.
Wow, dude. This is impressive. I didn't realize. I clicked on videos and scrolling down. You got a lot. This is good, bro. You're building a really good, valuable asset. There's a lot of shit here, man. Yeah, well, thank you, man. And here's the thing. I appreciate you saying that because how many people do we know that have started YouTube channels? Yeah, I did for a while. For a while, I was doing Facebook Lives every day, teaching print on demand with Merch by Amazon, which I did for a couple of years. I got to tell you, I love doing it. I love the whole thing. We had a full-time video guy follow us around. I enjoyed it. The only reason why I stopped was that finally, after 2 years, I realized that business model, what I was doing in that arena, wasn't going to make me anywhere near the money that I want to make in my life. So, but I promised myself that I would get back to doing the content again once I had this new call center stable and had the right people in place where I didn't have to be so involved in the business like I still am right now. That I loved doing it. I had so much fun. So, first of all, as somebody now, especially because you know what it takes to produce content like this. Thanks for saying that. It is a lot of work. YouTube is a long game. But so is owning rental properties. If you say, I'm going to go make, I want to build a $10,000 a month passive residual income owning rental properties, then, you're probably going to work hard for 3 to 5 years. Oh yeah. And hope that it's a good economy. If you work hard for 3 to 5 years on a YouTube channel, you can have 10 grand a month, completely free and clear passive income for decades to come. Honestly, if you optimize it the right way. So, it's like anything. It's right there to do. It's just really hard work. Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to do it? But so you mentioned Amazon business, and I know you have a limited amount of time, but I don't think I can let the opportunity pass to not have you talk about Amazon business for a second. Yeah, of course. Because I get hit up all the time. Jeff, do you have FBA courses? Jeff, do you have Amazon courses? Because a lot of and I hate the term, but the gurus that I compete with technically sell Amazon courses. You have deep experience as an Amazon seller. And I bought the fucking best course, the most expensive one. It was $4,000. I will stand by. I'm not going to promote it, obviously. I will stand by that course because I got to tell you, out of all the courses that were out there, that was worth every penny. I literally learned everything about how to run an e-commerce, especially Amazon business, through these guys. But I remember the first event I went to, I met this guy who was murdering it. And we were having a drink at the bar. And he told me this one thing that I've always stuck to, which I didn't follow. I thought it was too smart for this. And he said it. And to this day, when anybody ever asks me about Amazon, this is what I tell them. This guy said, listen to me. You will not make any money unless you find a product that costs less than $1 to source that you could sell for $30 or more. And I was like, that's fucking impossible, dude. He's like, That's not impossible. That's what I do. That's why I make money. You're going to always think you're making money when you're not. He's like, trust me, $1 or less that you could sell for $30 or more. And I was like, this guy's fucking nuts. I had a product at the time that I purchased for $3, sell for $20. That sounds like pretty good margin, right?
Yeah.
Losing money, bro. Okay? Now, let me be fair. We tried to build it like a big business, though. I had a girl working for me full-time, taking care of customer service and organizing the shipments. I had another guy that would help us out, taking pictures of the products. We were trying to do 10, 20 new SKUs every month and build out our catalog as fast as we could. So I tried to build and
you tried to build a brand too, not just
a brand at the same time. Yeah. But I got to tell you, man, the margins are so much smaller than you think. I think the most important part, if you're going to get into the business, is you got to take a long, long time doing research, product research, and finding the right product. And you got to get it for so cheap that you would never think that you could even get it that cheap and be able to sell it for. I'm telling you, it just evaporates. The money just goes.
So where does all the money go? I mean, there must be just a stack of fees in that are baked into that model that people don't see on the surface.
Well, Amazon makes it to where you have to do FBA, meaning that you got to use their warehouses. Because if you don't, you lose every advantage that there is. They put you in a box where they're forcing you to use their warehouse. And by doing that, you're losing, people think you're losing 30% off the top. You're losing more like 50, more 60, and then you got to use Amazon ads because you have no choice. You have to use their internal system. I'm telling I don't know, bro.
Here's what I see. I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant, but I'm observant, and I have not found people who are just like ordinary people that don't seem to have a hack or an angle that are just doing well with it. So I kind of drew the conclusion, I don't think there's a great business here for most people.
I went to an event in New Jersey that this guy was holding. And, whenever I go to events, it's I'm always like, all right, I got to find the biggest guy in the room.
Yeah. And you really do what you're about to say.
And I got to go find him and talk to this guy. I don't care how, and build a relationship with that guy. That's the guy I'm here to talk to and meet and be friends with. So I went down and this guy was hosting the event. He got up and talked. And he talked about how he had a $20 million a year Amazon business. I was like, wow, that's the fucking guy. So he got off stage. Next guy spoke. I got up, ran out the back, and went and found the guy in the hallway alone, right? I was like, hey, buddy, my name's Anthony. I'm like, so tell me. I'm like, look, I did $2 million last year in my Amazon. I ain't making no fucking money. How do I go from 2 to 20 million? He goes, with a lot of money, he's like, and a lot of moving parts. A lot of money, meaning a lot of investors, investing. And then I was like, all right, so how did he do it? So I started asking some other people. He's like, dude, that guy does 20 million a year in business and he don't even make 7 figures.
Right. So his margins are less than 5%.
Now, could you imagine how many moving parts there are in a $20 million operation? Warehousing, logistics, shipping.
They're shipping low-cost physical goods. It's not like $20 million a year at a law firm or something.
Correct. All kinds of shit, shoes and fucking the kitchenware, and the guy had warehouses with millions of square feet and moving parts and people on forklifts driving around in the fucking, you know what I mean? And, if I get this business to $20 million, I'm making a lot of fucking money, bro. And not with all those, I have my own headaches. I have my employee human resources headaches. I have those kind of headaches. They're calling out sick guys and the guys who are on drugs. I have those problems. Logistics and product and sourcing and shipping, and it's a whole different fucking animal, dude.
Here's the thing. Owning a business is headaches. I own an online education business. We primarily sell information. We don't even have to ship product. But I still have headaches. My headaches are the freaking Facebook and YouTube algorithms. I'm making those guys rich. I'm spending right now between $3,000 and $4,000 a day between those two platforms. So it's we all have headaches. But if you're going to deal with the headaches, at least have 20-30% margins.
It should be. That's what I'm saying. To me, it's not worth it.
Don't have 3% margins.
Now, there's guys that are smarter than me who I'm sure they do it their right way and they crush it and they make good money too. I'm just telling you as the ordinary Joe kind of guy, right? Because that's what I am. I'm not smarter than anybody. I'm not stupid either. I got pretty good experience now under my belt now the last 20 years. But I'm a normal average guy. And to me, if you want to make a lot of money, I don't think that's the way to go. If your goal is to make tops 20 grand a month, you could probably do that. Doing it in
make 20 grand a month on a $10 million a year business, that's not being the smartest guy.
No, I don't. I mean,
because here's the thing: if you've still got all the risk and liability associated with a $10 million a year business. Your overhead, if you're only making 20 grand a month, that means your overhead is, 100 grand a month. Or no, your overhead is 800 grand a month, or whatever the numbers are, right? I mean,
I know that the guys that the number that I know of, that's like if you're pretty good at it. If you're really good, like in that business, you got to watch every fucking penny. And I'm not a penny pincher kind of guy. You got to watch everything. Run every report in the back of Amazon. Look at every fucking fee. Where could you cut costs? Can you make the product a little lighter? Can you change the packaging so it's a little smaller and it fits in the cubic feet thing in the warehouse? This way you're not getting charged the extra storage fee. Like you got to be like that. You know what I mean? And being like that, usually if you're at a 15 to like 18% profit margin, that's like really, really good.
To live like that. Like you say, that's not worth it.
I don't know. I don't like it. I know my friend Chad does really well. He owns a fucking vacuum cleaning replacement parts store on Amazon. And
how many SKUs is that?
Thousands of SKUs. Yeah. Thousands of SKUs. And then he was murdering it. And then what happened was Amazon started letting China, his own people who he sourced from, started undercutting him and listing the products themselves from China on Amazon US, undercutting his prices. His margins went from like 17 to like 5, but he was smart.
That's my other issue is having a business that is solely reliant on one platform.
Yeah.
And playing by their rules that they make and you're subject to.
But dude, people get shut down like all the time. Like, imagine having a business doing $2, $3, $4 million, and you get an email saying, "We've suspended your account. You may not appeal." Your whole business is gone, bro. Yeah. Like paused, and you have $500,000 in inventory sitting in the warehouse down the road. You're like, "What the fuck do I do?"
So you and I, before we hit record on this conversation, we were having a conversation about what are the products. What are the types of businesses that it actually makes sense for somebody? If you're gonna go through the headache and the risk of doing your own thing in this world, there needs to be a big enough payoff if it works to make it worthwhile. What, in your opinion, what are those business models?
For me, I like running Salesforce. I like having a army of people on the phone selling products over the phones.
But why and what kind of products?
I like digital products because there's no physical products to fulfill. There's a little tougher customer service satisfaction that comes along with selling, digital products. There's something to be said about someone who buys something and they get it in the mail. All right, I bought this. I have this now. Right. So, there is something about that makes it a little easier. But I like selling digital products over the phones because over the phones, it's the cheapest form of marketing, and you could touch the most amount of people in the shortest period of time.
Okay.
So that's why I like that model. I also like the internet marketing model, which is what you're doing, because if you get something dialed in and your KPIs work, you just fucking feed it more money like an ATM and it spits out money. Right? You want to put in $1 and get it out too. And if you get it and you hit it right and you got the Facebook ad converting at the right CPA or whatever you're using for marketing, then you can quickly scale and start making a lot of money like right away.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. And I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna say thank you for your time because I think you have a class.
Yeah.
But here's my thought. I'll answer the question for myself. I want to sell something that this is to anybody listening. And what I'm about to say is this is a very small group of things that I think are worth the time and energy to build a business around. And by exclusion, it means most of the shit people talk about, I think, are a waste of time.
Yep.
So I want to sell products that generate either recurring income.
Definitely recurring.
Or the only exception to that is, what I would consider, I like information products.
High ticket?
Yeah, high value information products like I sell online education. Education has a high value. I mean, you think about what's a Harvard education worth?
Yep.
And what does it actually cost to fulfill information? There's high margins. You said it, man. If you're talking about physical products, you are selling a product for $20 that only costs you $3 to acquire, and you still weren't making any money. There are people, I don't think, who've never run a business like we're talking about, a direct marketing business. They don't have any idea how expensive it is to put everything else in place that it requires to make sales. And that's why I like information. Because whether I'm selling it, if I'm selling it for $20 or $30, it doesn't matter, because I'm not even having to pay $3 to acquire it. Right? I'm only having to pay server bandwidth, probably 12 cents or something. And so it's either got to be recurring or it's got to be high value information products. I don't even know that I'm interested in selling anything else. It may be software, which is kind of a combination of the two, honestly.
Yeah. A nice SaaS product would be good, but that's not easy to do.
That's why I tell people, look, create a course, learn to be an affiliate marketer, start an agency, which is essentially what you're talking about with the phone sales. That's basically digital agency.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah, selling digital services B2B.
Yeah.
And that's it. People, why doesn't Entre have Amazon courses? Why don't you have drop shipping courses? Why don't you have? Because honestly, those are the only three things I think really make money for the average person to be worth taking the risk.
You know how many people would come up would call me up from merch when I was doing the print on demand stuff? Like, hey man, I got this product. I got it for $7 from China. I'm going to sell it for 20. What do you think? I'm like, you'll lose. What are you, fucking crazy? You're done. They're like, what do you mean? There's $13 in there for everything. I'm like, bro, you have no idea. Once you get the bill from when the product lands and you got to pay the container guy to empty the container and the guy to drive it over here, then you got the tariff in China. Oh, you forgot about the bond. You didn't get the bond. You don't realize when you start calculating everything up and you're like, where the fuck did the money go? It's amazing. It's actually fucking amazing.
This interview, man, has been priceless. I really appreciate you, Anthony, so much. and this interview has been priceless because everybody who I get DMs almost every day asking about Amazon and other types of business models that I don't.
Oh, good. Show them this video.
I'm going to watch this video, man.
Tell them to watch this video. And I don't want to say that it doesn't work for a lot of people. I'm sure it does. I'm just telling you my experience with it. No, fuck. I'll never do it again.
Well, there you go. Hey, man, thank you. We're going to do a better job of staying in touch without having to schedule an interview to make it happen. Deal?
Yep. Hit me up anytime, brother. Say hi to your wife for me. I hope the kids are well.
Yeah, likewise to you, man. I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
See you.
Later.